Eufaula is one of the greatest lakes in the country. It should be red hot. We're going to hit it at a perfect time. They've been getting a lot of rain. It's probably a little dirty water down there. It's going to be a wide open bite, and who knows who's going to win it.
Well, last week on this very set, Denny Brauer said he didn't know who would win today, but all along, he thought it might be himself. That's what this next hour is all about, working through the best 150 bass anglers in the world and finding a winner for the 5th Sit-Go Bassmaster Tour event. You cannot miss this one.
I'm going to do an Ike and Ellie. Yeah, baby! Look at that toad. Woo! Ike and Ellie doesn't do it any better than that, does he?
The Sit-Go Bassmaster Tournament Trail is presented by Bush.
Lake Eufaula on the border between Alabama and Georgia. Probably no other lake in the nation more associated with the Bassmasters through the years. Lake Eufaula on the Hooch, the Chattahoochee River, where you find great bass fishing lakes like Lanier and, of course, Lake Seminole. This is a lake that really exploded back in the 1960s. In fact, today you still see those pictures of those huge stringers of fish. They are the stuff of legend. I'm Tommy Sanders, along with the guy whose picture you see in there with those fish. A lot of those pictures anyway. Jerry McInnes. And I know there have been some down years in the past for Eufaula, but we can all agree that this week it is definitely back.
I've got your down year today. Right. You're going to see something. Hey, we've got some real important business to take care of. And then we're going to take everyone on the best event maybe that we've ever been on. So hurry with your business.
Ever. We better get on with it. Let's start with the Elite 50, that tournament series, 4-tournament series for the best 50 anglers in the nation. In fact, that gets started after the regular tour ends. Of course, it starts over on Lake Dardanelle in Arkansas, so the qualifying is hot and heavy right now. If you're among the top 20 in money won through the years, you are on the list. You're qualified for now. If not, you have to make it in on points accumulated over the 02, 03, and this season right here. Well, the guy on the points bubble right now is Mark Menendez, and it's really tightening up for the guys just under that bubble. Guys like Brett Hite and Scott Rook, they know they've got to tighten it up as well.
I think it kind of does, you know. You start fishing for points, and you tend to fish a little more conservatively and don't really let it hang out and really go for broke. And you know, this place you can do that and really come in with some monster stringers, you know. And I kind of fish conservative in this tournament, trying to stay in the points race.
You know, if you make the E50 and get last in every tournament, you make $21,000. So I mean, if you're the first guy out, you know, like I said, people, you might go a little postal if you're the first guy out and you lose. You end up losing $21,000.
Well, there you go. Brett Hyde, Scott Rook, and a few others with some very critical 6 fishing days left with regard to the E50.
And guess what's more important than your E50?
I know what the answer to that is.
The Bassmaster Classic. And oh, this event coming up next week at Santee Cooper is so important because qualifying in Eufaula is over now, and the Classic will take 25 anglers off of this tour list. Scott Suggs is right on top now, and Mark Davis is close behind. Skeet Reese, Schultz, Aaron Martins, they're all sitting pretty good. But how about guys like Stacy King and Scott Rook again, Randy Blockett, Peter T. Boy, their positions are awful shaky. I've got 4 names for you right here. Jay Yellis, Rick Clunn, Shaw Grigsby, and Mark Menendez. They're not even close. I'm afraid we will not be seeing them in the Classic. However, Davey Hite's looking awful good.
It means an awful lot. I've made it about 8 times, but it means just as much to me now as it did the first time I made it. It's a Super Bowl, and you sure want to be there, being a contender and not a spectator.
Davey Hite headed for the Classic. Again, the Classic is huge, also the E50, but also huge is the Sit-Go Bassmaster Angler of the Year race. And as we look at the standings, it's Scott Suggs, the rookie from Arkansas, on top. Also in the mix, Brett Chapman, their last year's Classic winner, Mike Iaconelli. Gerald Swindle is the one who trails Suggs at this point. And Gerald Swindle, one of our Bass Rats, so the Bass Rats are going to have to come out, smoke, and feed on one of their own. Gerald Swindle, who's after all the money and the prestige.
You've never seen such mass confusion in all your life when he starts today. I said, man, what are you going to do? I don't know. Where are you going? I don't know. Well, what do you think? I don't know.
He's a fly-by-night type.
Oh,
sure.
Yeah. If the seat of his pants ever fall off, he's in trouble.
He just doesn't even know what he's doing right now.
Hang on, guys. We're supposed to be talking about other people.
Yeah. Don't wake him up. Don't wake him up.
I don't want him to think about it.
Hey, can I tell a story? Can I tell a little story? I had a little talk with him. I sit him down. I said, brother, I'm drawing the line right here. I said, from now on, there's no reason I'm not making the Classic more often, and you're not competing for Angler of the Year with the talent that he's got. Most talented angler I've ever been in the boat with. And I've been in the boat with both of them, and I'd consider 1A and 1A, but since I've been around with him, instincts is unbelievable. But I told him, I said, it's time for you to start competing for the Angler of the Year.
All right, well, 2 1As there, but it looks like Gerald's getting the nod, at least from Marty Stone, for his Angler of the Year quest. As we look in on our 3rd qualifying day, 12 anglers left.
And I'm guessing that you're going to recognize 11 names out of that top 12, but not this young man. This is Bink DeSaro, a rookie from Idaho. Tommy from Idaho. And we met him last fall. He qualified for the Western Opens, and we can hardly wait to tell his story today. He's found it pretty hard out here.
Oh, it's very hard. Extremely hard. You know, I got some friends and my parents helping me out, and just everything I can to stay out here. And just, you know, I haven't been home since I left January 13th. I actually left in the day after Thanksgiving, and drove down and fished Toledo Bend and left my truck and boat in Florida, flew home for the holidays for about 30 days, and flew back on the 13th of January, and I've been home since. Just, come on, baby. Oh, gosh. Oh, man. Lord. I cannot believe that. Oh, man.
Well, the good news is Bink will get another chance as his 3-day catch keeps him going. But here are the 6 anglers who came up a little short. Look at those names on that list, and you can realize how tough the competition is this week on Lake Eufaula. Now for our Super 6, including Greg Hackney, the shallow water specialist. Great young angler from Louisiana. Skeet Reese, they called him the king of California. Maybe the best Western angler ever. Ron Sheffield, another shallow water specialist, a radio superstar from the state of Arkansas. This is Bink DeSaro. Bink from Boise, Idaho. In the top 6 at this very important event. Ben Matsubu lives on Lake Toledo Bend down in Louisiana. A good one, good, slow, methodical fisherman, and the guy to look out for, the all-time money man on the Bassmaster, Denny Brauer, our Super 6.
And wow, we're not wasting any time today. We are taking that final 6 and going to battle with them. We're going to start our final 8 hours of competition. And Ben Matsubu is our first angler. And boy, Ben has been so close to the Super 6 on several occasions. He has finally made it. We are going to see how to fish a Cinco today.
See, every one of these little patches of grass has a male on a bed. And I just haven't been playing with them much, you know. And I have a feeling those females are cruising along here. And then when they see that male up there, they kind of stick around on the outside of this thing. Maybe we'll get lucky and catch a 3-pounder on the outside of it.
We'll take a look at our scoreboard there already. Ben Matsubu has moved ahead of the opening leader, Denny Brauer, with that fish he just caught there. Pay attention to the scoreboard today. They're going to catch so many fish, I don't think we're going to have time to show them all to you. Now, coming up next, how many of these can Greg Hackney afford to have on a day that is so important? And will Denny Brauer score big? Yes, he will score big. That's all coming up. It's championship day. Don't go away.
I hadn't lost a fish all week.
The Citgo Bassmaster Tournament Trail is brought to you by Citgo. And in part by Bush. By Lawrence. And by Motor Guy.
Oh, it looks big, doesn't it? Lake Eufaula, the Citgo Bassmaster Tour presented by Bush Beer, and a big tournament, the 5th of our 6 regular season tour events here on Lake Eufaula. This is championship day. We're down to the final 6 anglers fishing for that #1 spot, led by Denny Brauer.
And Eufaula is big, but our final 6 aren't using much of it, at least not to start with. Skeet and Denny may not have even started their big engines. You could hit them with a rock from the takeoff. Bink DeSaro now, he's just above Cowakie Creek up near Bustahatchee. And Hackney's 5 miles up to Chattahoochee at Grass Creek. Sheffield fishing the east side of the main lake looking for channel banks. And Ben Matsubu is south just above Town Creek.
Well, actually, we said Denny Brauer leading the way. He did lead the way into today, but right now the lead has been taken by this man, Ben Matsubu from Hemp Hill, Texas. That is Toledo Bend country.
All these guys are pitching jigs and tubes, are throwing Cincos. And, of course, Ben is the master at throwing that Cinco. He throws it on fluorocarbon line, which allows it to sink, and he's throwing a watermelon red Cinco and fishes it very slow and carefully. I think that's why he's so good at it.
Kind of a good sign when I don't catch one on the first cast. I don't know that it's, I just heard a lot of people say that, it's not good luck to catch one on the first cast. So I normally throw me a time or two around where I don't think I'll get bit, and then I'll shoot it in there. So I know then if there is anything to it, I'll eliminate that from happening.
Greg Hackney, Gonzales, Louisiana, made it to the Classic last year.
Little superstitious, huh? Have you ever seen him throwing a spinning rod? I never had. I thought all he did was throw jigs on casting outfits like our old buddy Denny Brauer, who is now 15 miles up the Chattahoochee, past Florence, in a place called River Bend Park, pitching that jig into the brush.
Big boy, coming to daddy. Thank you. That's a good start right there. What a toad. What a beautiful bass. 4 more like that, folks. We're gonna make it hard on them boys. That's a chunk. That is a chunk. Man, if this isn't fun. I've been doing this, oh gosh, 20-some years, folks, and I'm shaking like a leaf. You just never get over catching something like that. Is that beautiful? And to catch him in a tournament when you're leading, knowing you need fish like that to win, I gotta catch some more. I can't sit around and talk about it.
Ooh, God, big un. Big un. Oh! God, dang, what happened?
God. Boy, that upsets me. I hadn't lost a fish all week. I hadn't lost a fish all, well, maybe a knothead, but nothing that would, especially nothing would, boy, I mean, pop them big ones and just, there he is, And I was pretty confident. The only thing I was worried, I thought, God, see, she just rolled up. She never had gotten wild yet, and I was scared she was finna run back through that stuff.
These are the little types of places where I've been catching a lot of the bigger fish. Just them isolated little clumps of reeds. I've been kind of laying around them. You don't get many bites, but you get you 1 or 2 big bites a day doing that. And hopefully you can catch 2 or 3 others just fishing and covering water.
Did we say this is bass fishing country? Half the town of Eufaula, Alabama, in Town Creek, watching Ben Matsubu at work.
Ben fishes that Cinco so slow, lets it fall all the way to the bottom. He's catching plenty of fish here. I believe that's his 3rd fish, but they're all males. He needs to catch those big females. That's what he did yesterday.
Well, when we come back, we'll get our first look at a guy who's probably a mystery man to most of our viewers, Bink DeSaro. We'll also talk with Denny Brauer, and provided Skeet Reese doesn't go in trying to retrieve that lure, and he survives, we'll talk to him as well. Citgo Bassmaster Tour, final day at Lake Eufaula with a lot on the line for our final 6 anglers who are slugging it out today. Denny Brauer in the lead. But right now, we got to turn it over to our ultimate insiders, the Bass Rats. We're going to let them hammer on one of their own. Skeet Reese.
Oh, let me start.
Oh, did you want to start?
Let me start.
Then I'm next.
Let me
ugly
start.
quick. Yeah. Here we go.
I've got an image. I'm so cool. I'm the California king. I'm the baddest thing in the world. And then when Miss Kim shows up, oh, Mr.
He's just a little
Yeah, Mr. Humble.
Humble pie is big sliced on his plate. Let me tell you a little about Skeet here. Skeet calls me the first day of the tournament. I see him idling. I got about 15 pounds. What about you, G? I said, right, 17, dude. Oh, okay, I'll call you. I get out of here. He's calling. Oh, I can't catch him. I don't know. Please tell me they caught the big sacks. I'm desperate. I'm like, dude, just chill. We're going to be all right. I don't know how they caught him, but we'll figure it out. I get the sheet, start looking down, 9th place. Skeet Reeves, 20 pounds. Good calling you, pumping you. Collar brother has 17 pounds.
Leading angler of the year.
Don't
Give crying to him.
Yeah, I mean, just pumping me for all I'm worth. That's it, brother. Next time you stay at my house,
he had his highlights in the bind, that
yeah.
Oh, say what you will about the Bass Rats, they do not let up on one of their own.
Oh, I'm so surprised that they hammered Skeet.
Oh, me too, yeah.
Hey, Skeet is still fishing right at home, boy. He is in sight of the takeoff spot, I guarantee you, and he's fishing a little small, too. These fish, at this point, are so territorial, so aggressive, and so shallow. So if you get a little bait in front of them, they are normally going to jump on it.
Come here.
I like those kind of bites. They don't fight that hard, but... I'll take that one. All right.
Well, from Skeet Reese, we're going to move over and get our first look today at the man from down there in Bismarck, Arkansas, Lake DeGray country. In fact, the guy who won our tour event on Lake Hamilton in Arkansas last year, Ron Sheffield.
And look at the bank right in front of Ron. You can tell that he is on the main lake, and he is fishing where the channel runs into the bank. That's what all those big rocks are about over there. And he's doing something a little different than everyone else, and he's fishing in deep water. He's probably in 12, 15 feet of water, fishes a jig. That's his thing, fishing a jig, and he swims it off that shallow bank into the deep water. And Denny Brauer is probably 20 miles above Ron on the river channel as well. However, he is fishing in real shallow water.
That's what you call
Denny Brauer with the score there, increasing his lead. And Denny, I know they played Sweet Home Alabama when you came to the weigh-in last night. You love this place. Do you relate certain places, certain lakes with success? You take that confidence that you get, and you go out there and you make it happen again. Is that the way it works for you?
I think subconsciously we actually do. I know there's some places we kind of dread going to where we've had bad experiences over the years, and the places where we've done well, we really look forward to getting back to. And this has certainly been one of those areas for me, really the whole state of Alabama in general.
Well, Denny, talk to us about what stage these fish are in right now. Where are they hanging out? Where are they ganging up? What are they doing?
Well, they're really in all three stages, pre-spawn, post-spawn, and some of them actually bedding. In fact, the majority of them are probably bedding. And I'm trying to key on the pre-spawn fish just moving up. They weigh a little heavier, and there's just not many of them. And I'm just hunting isolated little targets where they're setting up to spawn.
All right, Denny, tell us what you're talking about when you say these small, isolated targets. For example, point one out to us, if you don't mind.
Well, just a little bitty cove, little clumps of grass, little clumps of reeds, anything like that that they'll stage around. I'm catching a few off wood, but most of them are off some type of vegetation. And the little spawning pockets, the protected areas, little flat areas are where most of them are coming in to do their bedding.
Well, thanks a bunch, Denny Brauer, except he wouldn't stop fishing long enough to show us his jig and trailer. Maybe you can help us out.
He's trying to win this thing,
isn't he? Oh, that's right, yeah. Well, help us out.
Well, he lives and dies with this jig, and this is a Strike King Denny Brauer jig. It's black. It's a 3/4 ounce head. I think the most important part of it is this Strike King chunk. It's blue. It's so lively looking in the water. I'm telling you what, many times, I think the jig is just a vehicle to take this trailer to the fish. Look how lively this chunk looks in the water, and a fish has got to think that that's a crawfish and cannot stand it. If you're watching real closely today, you're going to realize that the strikes are coming so fast after the lure enters the water. I bet that fish wasn't a foot deep.
Yeah, one I think will keep. Gonna be close.
And I'm ready to see Bink. As I said, he's a rookie out here on the tour with a tent and a sleeping bag and a credit card. Has no sponsors, 0 sponsors. Ranks about 100th on the Angler of the Year, and he's hurting. The boy's hurting. He's been gone from home since Christmas, and being gone that long and being broke will make you hurt, I guess. He had to make this top 6. He just had to, and he did it. Now, can he move up? Skunked so far today in trying to catch his hero, Denny Brauer.
Get in the boat, baby. Come on. Yes. Oh, yeah. Let's see how it's hooked there in the side. I mean, we want that thing right up between the nose, but we'll take it.
It's in the boat.
Number one, but he needs an incredible comeback today.
Winning it would definitely solidify what I want to do for the rest of my life. You know, it would just help me out tremendously financially and just get my career off the ground, you know.
Well, before his shot at the Bassmasters, Bink was working in a sandwich shop in Boise, Idaho.
And when I first met him, Tommy, I had to literally drag him over to meet Rick Clunn. He was so intimidated. But I think that he's messed around here and got a little bit too far behind today. Hey, I guess we need to start paying more attention to Ben Matsubu, who, if he'll put this fish in the boat, has probably just about evened up the score with Denny Brauer.
I don't think that's the one I saw, but I'll take it. Denny Brauer. Denny Brauer's in the lead. I'd like to change that, but you just never know. You just never know.
I'm living a dream right now anyway. I mean, whether I win, lose, or draw, you know, I'm in the Super 6 today. Oh, man, that is so cool.
Well, coming up, can the dream just keep getting better? And Denny Brauer goes Iaconelli on us. Don't go away.
Iaconelli doesn't do it any better than that, does he?
This is no time to take a nap. It's a big day. Citgo Bassmaster Tour, our event on Lake Eufaula. We got 6 finalists out there slugging it out, and Denny Brauer and Ben Matsubu are threatening to run away from this field.
Haven't seen much of Greg Hackney today, but I'm telling you, he's had a great season. He's in second place in Rookie of the Year. Right now, he's setting up on a spawning fish, and I tell you, all the pollen on the water, I have to hand it to these guys for being able to see these fish.
Yes, sir. See there?
When you're sight fishing now, it's illegal to snag a fish either accidentally or on purpose. You must hook them in the mouth.
On that side to get that side started. That's the big fish side, and it hadn't been, and that's not a big fish, but had to get some smell in there anyway. That's 5.
5 and a limit for Hackney, and now over to our all-time money winner with the Bassmasters, Denny Brauer.
Big one. Great big one.
Great big one, Denny says. Boy, look at that fish run off the bank. And as I said before, these fish are so shallow. And I know it's early here. But he puts this fish in the boat, Tommy, he's going to be awful hard to beat. Ben Matsubu or anybody had better kick it up a notch or two.
I'm going to do an Iaconelli. Yeah, baby. Look at that toad. Woo! Iaconelli doesn't do it any better than that, does he? Woo! What a pig. Woo! Doggy. I need some heart pills or something. God, what a fish. Same deal, just like that other big one. I pitched it in there. That pro model didn't get 6 inches down, and that monster drilled it. And you talk about fight. I've caught a lot of big fish this week, folks, but I've never had one fight that hard. Yeah, you get to go in a tank all by yourself, big guy.
Oh. You know, it was one of the coolest things to be sitting there talking to Gary Klein yesterday at the end of the day, you know. Kind of turns out we were on the same pattern and doing the same kinds of things. And I mean, that guy's been a legend of mine. You know, he's a legend and a hero of mine.
What Bink is saying here is he's thrilled just knowing he found the same pattern as Gary Klein.
Come on, baby. Stay on there. Stay on there. Stay on there. Please, come here. Come here. Yeah, baby. Woo!
Uh-oh, Tommy. Before that fish, Bink was 21 pounds behind.
You see that mat
Surely he couldn't. Surely he couldn't.
Whoosh, when those mats rise like that, but you know that's a toad. Oh, yes. Oh, man, I had one like that in practice, and I haven't been bit like that since. Oh, man. And she stayed on. I can't believe it.
I think the young man is a little bit excited, and one of the reasons he is so excited is the fact that he's still that comes in that boat, he gets to add. If he were culling, he only gets to add the amount above the fish he's throwing back.
And of course, Ron Sheffield is culling, so he's not going to pick up the pace as fast. And Ron is fishing about as far south as any angler has been so far. Today, he's all the way down to White Oak, and he's fishing in a treetop out there in about 15 foot of water. He's doing it so differently than everybody else.
Back to the subject of Bink DeSaro. He is a rookie, so as a rookie, not a lot known about him. Maybe that's got the Bass Rats a little confused.
I think he's a little starstruck this season. What happens to everybody?
He's fishing today, and we're not.
Yeah,
He ain't too starstruck. He ain't blinded too much.
Well, you know how it is. A lot of times the guys come out there their first year and they kind of get caught up in the whole thing, and it takes them a few tournaments to settle in and get going. And it's real easy to get caught up in what should be happening and what the locals do when you come to a lake. And I think he probably just went out and fished his style, and he got on them right.
So they were just rolling all over the place. Come on, baby. You get in here. You get in this boat. Yeah! 3, buddy. I said if I had 3 before I rolled out of this canal, I'd be happy camper.
So, how you liking a rookie now? Boy, he keeps this up. He may not have to camp out in Santee Cooper next week.
It's really hard to get your bait rigged right when you're shaking so much.
We have so many shining stars today in our final 6, and Skeet's right at the top of the list. And people, he's still fishing in front of the state park, right there where we take off. He's in view of the folks on the bank there. And if he puts this fish in the boat,
come here.
If he can actually
get my rod close enough
this fish
here
in the boat. Come on, Skeet. If Skeet actually lands this particular bass,
I think you made a line miscalculation there.
He'll be culling, and culling with a legitimate chance to catch our leaders.
Yeah, that's a good cold idea. Felt like about a tar trying to get that fish in the boat.
So Skeet is culling. Ben Matsubu is charging. And Denny's hit a wall for some reason. Bink is another story, and he has another surprise for everyone. We guarantee things are going to tighten up. Lake Eufaula here between Georgia and Alabama, the Cisco Bassmaster Tour, 5th event of the season. We only have 6 in the regular season. Things are tightening up here. Our 6 finalists in contention on championship day, all of them culling, except for one Bink DeSaro. Now, we told you, Skeet Reese was a fish or 2 away from contending. And here's one right now. Oh!
That was a frickin' mule.
Oh, you don't need to say anything. That was a heartbreaker. Everyone has had a taste of that today.
Oh! Dang, what happened?
Golly, boy, that upsets me.
Oh, yeah. Darn. Big un. I caught a fish.
It's a big one. It's a 200-pounder.
Big un.
God dang.
This is not the day to stumble. And the only one who hasn't stumbled? Bink. And man, he's fishing in some pretty woolly looking stuff, isn't he? Rolling it through like a gorilla. Hey, one more fish, and you folks at that sandwich shop up there in Boise need to put the help wanted sign out.
Oh, come on, baby. Come on, baby. Get in the boat. You get in this boat. You get in this boat. Now, yes. Oh, man. What's we got? One more to go, baby. We still haven't even hit the big fish pattern. Happy camper about that one.
Nice fish. Who is charging now? That puts Bink DeSaro from 20 pounds back all the way into second place, just a little more than 5 pounds back. We should not ignore this guy either. Hey, Ben Matsubu pulls ahead now of DeSaro.
Oh, baby, start biting. Start biting.
So Ben Matsubu, Bink DeSaro, both about 5 pounds back at Denny Brauer, chasing him. It's getting hot and heavy, but we have to slow things down for a second. We have to ask Bink a few questions, or we'll never get the chance otherwise. And Bink, we have checked our records. We've never had anyone from Idaho in the finals.
Yeah, I'm probably the first and only guy from Idaho right here. But
well, how do you become a bass fisherman in Idaho?
Actually, Jerry, there is extremely good bass fishing in Idaho. Mainly on the Snake River for smallmouth. It's dammed up in several places that make a handful of reservoirs. But we actually have a largemouth lake that isn't 30 minutes from my house that looks exactly like this place. I mean, to a T. And so I just, when I came here and looked at it before our 30-day off period this spring, I knew I was going to like it and it was going to suit my style. And it just feels like I'm fishing at home right now. So it's really comfortable for me to be fishing here. And, I kind of finally I felt like I came with an idea of what to do, and so far, it's paying off.
Well, tell us what you're doing, Bink. Describe how you're fishing.
Paying off.
Fishing.
I'm basically just rolling down the bank here. I'm keying on gator grass and grass mats, basically. And as you can look down, you see the hay on some of those. On those mats down there. Up until today, and this is kind of an afternoon thing, I'm gonna go try it again. That's where my big bites have been coming from. But I've just mainly been pitching a 1 ounce or a 3/4 ounce penetrator and a sweet beaver to just grass mats. I'm not leaving it in there shaking it. I'm just getting down the line and whatever's in front of me, I'm putting it in there. I just let it free fall, pick it up. If there's not a fish there, get it out and get it right back in a new hole.
Well, Bink DeSaro, the angler from Idaho, the land of famous potatoes, is thickening the plot here. Does he have another 5-pounder left in him? Can Denny Brauer hang on? Ben Matsubu is not through yet, and neither is Skeet Reef.
That's the kind of bites I like. Yeah.
Woo!
Acanelli.
It's time now for Citgo. We know what drives you. Mark Davis has been a part of 3 major championships in the past 2 Citgo Bassmaster events. Yeah. How's that possible? We'll tell you when we return. After years of searching for his first Citgo Bassmaster Tour victory, Mark Davis finally won a title on Table Rock Lake. But his winning ways must have been contagious. While Davis was winning from the front of the boat at Table Rock, Terry Chapman of North Carolina was winning the amateur tournament from the back of Davis's boat. The Davis Championship karma must have carried over to the following event at Lake Eufaula. Davis again qualified for the semifinal round, where his amateur partner, Billy Swap, tapped into the magic and won the amateur tournament. Once again, from the back of Davis's boat.
Citgo Bassmaster Tour, our championship on Lake Eufaula. This is final day competition. 6 Tour, our championship on Lake Eufaula. This is final day competition. 6 anglers out there slugging it out. That man right there, Denny Brauer, in the lead, 5 pounds ahead of Ben Matsubu, 5.5 ahead of Big Desaro. But the difference with Big, he's only got 4 fish, so he can add a lot to his total if he gets a limit. Denny, lots of respect from the Bass Rats, sort of.
The old fossil.
We got to the point we don't even like
He's
him.
kind of got that grin, too. He's got 25 pounds. You walk over, Denny, good job. He's like,
I know it.
yeah, boy. He ain't say nothing. I'm like, all right, dude.
He is all or nothing. He does not care about second place.
Well, I think he realizes
He burns to win.
He realizes when he has a chance to win and he capitalizes on it.
He knows
a lot
when
of guys I don't think ever realize when they're in that situation to win. They don't even know they're there. I think Denny sees it coming. He anticipates the next step and he beats you like that.
And his thinking is, I'm going to win.
Yeah. What are you,
I'm around the fish to win. That's what you hear him say.
He takes the chances that he has to take to
win.
take that shot to win, and he's gonna have some bad days.
That's a lot of guts.
But don't you think too? He's far enough along in his career now.
He doesn't
care about
the money.
That's right. He's out there swinging at a fence.
He's just wanting to go hunting.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
The more tournaments he wins, the more hunting land he can buy.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
More deer hunting.
Well, I win this and I get another 200 acres.
The Rats really don't cut anyone any slack, but that's not their job.
That's right. And Kevin Van Dam actually volunteered for the Rats this week.
He does a pretty good job.
Well,
he's a pretty good rat.
He thinks they won't make fun of him if he's on their team.
Oh, no.
Here comes old Ben. He's hanging right in there, still throwing that Cinco. Again, fishing it on the bottom. I want everyone to realize he's fishing it a little bit differently than most people fish a Cinco.
From Ben Matsubu over to Skeet Reese, what a year. He is having 9th on the Angler of the Year list. He's going to the Classic.
Oh, yes. Good God.
Looks like a good fish on for Skeet. Man, I tell you what, a great career he has had. 4 times he's been to the Classic, 2 wins in his career, and get this, 20 top 10s. He is one of, if not the most successful angler to ever come out of those Western Open divisions.
And you know what? Every time we have him in the final, it seems as though he's fishing a different style, a different technique. I'm impressed with his versatility.
Yeah. Woo! Iaconelli. I won't scream as loud as he did, but...
It's a whole new fishing term. Once again, Mike Iaconelli makes TV whether he catches a fish or not. All right, just a very short time ago, Bink Desaro was 21 pounds behind Denny Brauer. Then it was 15, and then 10. Now 5.5 pounds. Now 1 good strike, and the Idaho rookie makes it interesting for Denny Brauer, who is maybe the best of all time.
Oh, come on, baby. Stay on there. Stay on there. Please, please, please stay on there. Yeah! Woo! Yeah!
And the one may have just turned the bass fishing world upside down.
Oh, my gosh. I was just getting ready to say there's some different kind of grass on this point, and I was wondering if we were going to get some action out of it.
Look at the scores. They are unofficial, but folks, we have a tie.
So sensitive.
Woo!
Have you ever been more ready for a weigh-in? How about this? The guy knocking on the door for $2 million in Bassmaster winnings may have been run down by a rookie from Idaho.
My God. Catch him at 9 o'clock. Do not get another bite the rest of the day. It's 6 hours. Now, I mean, I've had days where I'm gone all day without a bite, but It was just going so wonderful, and it was kind of like the bottom just fell out. Who knows how we're going to finish? I guess we're probably going to finish second. You just never know. I certainly hope I win, but you know, I really left the door open for Ben by not getting another big fish. But gosh, that's just the way it goes. You do everything you can, try as hard as you can, and you just go with the results. And the good news is, win or lose, I'm going to be at Santee Cooper next week and probably be trying to win it.
Well, Denny, you left the door open, but not for Ben Matsubu, for this guy, Bink DeSaro. The final weigh-in coming up when we return.
Citgo Bassmaster Tournament Trail is brought to you by Citgo. And in part by Bush. By Purelator. And by Flowmaster.
We are seconds away from beginning a weigh-in at Eufaula, the Citgo Bassmaster Tour event. Lots of anticipation, but first we'll check in on the Purelator Big Bass Award. The Big Bass of the week was brought in by Mark Rogers. 9 pounds, 6 ounces, anchoring that huge bag. He wins the $1,000 on the first day of competition and the $1,000 bonus. Now, we're ready to weigh in those fish. Out to Eufaula, a huge crowd on hand. Did they know that something big was happening? Did they know that something was up? Well, Greg Hackney first to the weigh-in stand. Oh, he lost such a good one that morning. That hurt him. He winds up with 11 pounds and 14 ounces in 6th place. Skeet Reese, he had a good day. 18 pounds and 4 ounces. The crowd really liking that. Ron Shuffield, he lost some good ones as well. 13:04 puts him in 5th place. So Skeet has the lead as Bink DeSaro hits the stage.
Skeet, I don't know what you got here, Bink. Don't tell me that's your small one. 17 pounds.
It's not going to happen. Yeah. Skeet, you're going to hold the stool.
Just go ahead and sit there, Skeet.
Skeet's good. Have a seat.
Skeet is just a nervous wreck.
Here, let me get his stool. Skeet, have a seat right here.
Yeah, have a seat right on the deck, the back deck. Oh, my goodness. Tell me that's all you got. I'm feeling sorry for you, brother. Oh! Hello! I've been dethroned easily. Gorilla time! Hello!
Uh-oh! You got a shot, baby!
Holy cow, yeah, I don't think so, you know. Denny was like 5 pounds ahead of me. And I'm pretty sure he caught him, you know. I mean, pops don't go wrong on the last day.
To the scale, DeSaro, wait! 24 pounds and 5 ounces!
You know, I just put my head down, I got in one area, and I don't think there's a blade of grass in that area that I haven't put my jig by, my lure.
So Bink takes the hot seat. Now coming to the weigh-in stand, Ben Matsubu. What a great week he has had. The biggest round on day number 3 came in on the heels of Denny Brauer, but he could not catch the big fish. And on this day, he could not catch Bink DeSaro.
You know, you got to look at it this way. If there was one guy that you didn't want behind you, probably be Denny.
That would be Denny.
Denny Brauer!
What I need? It's going to be like 19 pounds.
I think congratulations might be in order.
I don't think so. My goodness! Denny Brauer! Jig man! Back to fish.
We got a little problem, Deke.
What's that?
He's loaded.
I know.
All right, I want you to guess what he's got right there, Bink.
No, there's like 11 or 12 in those two. Oh, my.
Uh-oh, here we go. 2002 champion here on Eufaula. You freaked us out with 3 baby bass.
Well, it's not enough, but I think I scared him anyway.
I want you to know that Bink's calculation was correct. Denny Brauer needs 19 pounds. Wait, Denny Brauer, 19 pounds and 2 ounces. Denny Brauer, your champion, 2004 Citgo Bassmaster Tour, Eufaula, Alabama.
kind of speechless. That may be the most exciting tournament I ever won.
That statue of Denny Brauer, they're going to erect one of these days, just keeps getting taller and taller on the plans. All the respect to Denny. What a job. This guy knocking on the $2 million mark in Bassmaster winnings with that win, $1,822,000. But Lake Eufaula, how many anglers, how many bass fans have gotten their kicks there in 40 years, but nothing beats today, I don't think.
And what I think about is the fact that Denny Brauer was sitting in that chair right there next to you last event, predicting what would happen, and now he doesn't ever have to talk to us again.
Just call it, go out there, win it, take home the money. Congratulations again, Denny Brauer. As good as that was, there is much, much more to look forward to. One of the things we're looking forward to, the Elite 50, the E50, the top 50 anglers in the nation, teeing it up in that 4-tournament series. We start out at Lake Dardanelle in Arkansas. We move on to the Tin-Tom Waterway there between Alabama and Mississippi. Then we go to the Alabama River, wrap it up on the Ohio, Cumberland, and Tennessee rivers there at Paducah, Kentucky. That is going to be fantastic.
And of course, Santee Cooper next week is our final qualifying event. It is so important. Somebody will miss by that much, Tommy, and like Brett Height said, go postal.
Let's quickly take a look at the heavyweights on top of our Bush shootout list. And from the first day of this tournament, Mark Rogers, 31 pounds, 3 ounces, of course. That takes over the top spot. George in second place, but we could have 4 new weights added to this next week at Santee Cooper. There's one other thing decided there. The Angler of the Year points, very, very important. Scott Suggs in the lead. Gerald Swindle chasing him right now. Now, predictions for Santee Cooper. What is going to happen there?
Well, we're going to have a fantastic event out there, just like last year. It will, can it top Eufaula? I'm not real sure. It will be great. And one more prediction. I'm predicting that I'm going to Idaho and apply for that job at the sandwich shop there in Boise.
I think it's open. We need to leave right now. Hey, we hate to leave you guys. What a tournament's been. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week from Santee Cooper on the Sitco Bassmaster Tour.
I'm going to do it like an alley. Yeah, baby.
This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to Bassmaster.com.
Ike and Ellie doesn't do it any better than that.